Hi, I'm Kara Musgrave with Mastering Movement and Musgrave Equestrian, empowering your horse to move better, enjoy learning, and improve in ways that you can only imagine. By the end of this course, you'll know how to help your horse recover from and prevent future movement problems, build and maintain top line, even if you can't ride them or if they're on limited pasture turnout from an injury or even on stall rest. You'll also learn how to overcome training obstacles in a way that improves the partnership and eliminates stress. So if you have a horse you're struggling to get fit again after time off, or if they're just like a little clumsy or one-sided, or if they have some kind of neurological issue or long-term movement problem like EPM or Lyme disease, or if you're starting back from square one after an injury, or even if you just have a horse who hasn't been ridden yet or in a long time, and you want to make sure that they're strong and agile enough to carry a rider, this course is for you. You will get over 20 instructional videos walking you through step by step how to teach your horse these different exercises. These videos are going to be released weekly in a Facebook group, and they'll also be available through a private YouTube channel. Along with these videos, you get a written description that has step-by-step instructions and different helpful hints and tips along the way. The other thing that makes this course really amazing is that you'll be included in a private Facebook group where you get support, accountability, you can post questions, videos, pictures, and celebrate wins. This is a game changer. You do not have to go through this course alone. Every horse is so different, and so it's really normal for each one to need a little something different in the way of cues or handling, and this is why the group is so important. You can post videos and questions for discussion with others in the group and the instructor, which is me, which allows for a much more tailored experience. If at the end of the course you want to stay in a group for support, we have a monthly subscription which gives you access to the Facebook group beyond the end of the course. So the other really neat thing is that if you need it, you can get even more support. So not only through the Facebook group, but also you can sign up for one-on-one time or private video coaching with me. And what I can do is help walk you through a tough spot. We can do that either you send in a video or even just a phone call or a video call. And that way, if you feel like you're really stuck, you're gonna have access to the instructor, which is not something that you typically get with a course where you're just handed the course and you have to go figure it out on your own. So this is a game changer. The other thing that I wish I had had when I was going through this process that you'll get are training scales for each of the exercises. So these scales allow you to objectively chart your horse's progress. It can be so hard to see improvement when you see your horse every day. And the beauty of these training scales is that they rate each activity on a 1 to 10 scale so that you can keep up with and notice your horse's improvement, which is so huge and so motivating when you can see that they're improving. It takes the guesswork out of evaluating your horse's progress. The other thing that's amazing about this course is it will give you the confidence to empower your horse to be their best. The way that this course is set up allows you to give your horse a voice. Through reward-based training, you can navigate through it together. You don't have to wonder if you're pushing them too hard or try to figure out if they're being stubborn versus they physically can't do the task. I provide so many different exercises that if one just doesn't work for them, you can skip it for a while and come back and try it again later. Chances are, after building their confidence and ownership of their movement, working on other things, they'll be able to do it next time you present it to them. So a little bit about my story and why I created this course. It's so hard to know where to start when your horse has an ongoing movement issue, like clumsiness or neurological symptoms, and that's where I was 3 years ago. My horse Ben started showing mild neurological symptoms, and we treated him with medication for EPM, but there's just so very little information on how to deal with the actual physical issue left behind. So when I asked my vet how I should rehab him, he said that dressage work and lunging were helpful, so I tried this. I was so diligent. I spent 3 hours a day doing as much groundwork as I could, and I hoped that he would be safe to ride soon so I could start working on building his muscles back the only way I knew how, through riding and dressage work and just building more fitness. But the reality of the situation was that I could hardly get him to move. He, my perfect willing horse, was not unwilling, but unable. He was unable to back up, walk up and down hills, travel on a circle, because he just didn't know where his legs were or how to balance himself. So many things like severe to mild spine trauma, inflammatory diseases, EPM die-off, or even just lack of use from stall rest or other kinds of injuries and compensations can cause a lost connection from the central nervous system to the muscles. I spent so many months working on trying to fix the muscles when the problem was the connection. I wasted so many hours on the lunge line and in hand, basically chasing my poor horse with a whip, trying to fix him, but all it did was make him more scared to move. I knew there had to be a better way. I eventually stumbled upon using a combination of positive reinforcement, movement games, and the element of choice as a way to create the motivation he needed to regain his agility. It turns out that motivation informs the quality of movement in a huge way for both horses and humans. When positive reinforcement is used correctly to give your horse autonomy, it can be an incredible motivator with lasting effects. For a horse otherwise scared to move or unable to move in certain ways, this was the thing that I needed to do differently. Not only did this allow me to actually get him to try to activate his muscles again, but it also gave me a really clear picture of what he couldn't do versus what he wouldn't do. When he was motivated to move for a reward, I knew that when he stopped, it was usually an I can't versus I won't. This finally gave me feedback on where he was, and it allowed me to track his improvement. I was able to give him a voice, and it also made our training sessions so much more fun. We were now playing games with prizes when before I just ended up frustrated and in tears. And he was so ready for me to leave and leave him alone. So once I figured out how to motivate him to get better, I, along with my neurological rehabilitation physical therapist husband, began to figure out the best ways to help him rediscover those lost connections between his brain or central nervous system and his nerves and muscles. When you can use the environment to challenge their movement, that they learn how to self-correct and slowly start to regrow the connections that were lost. Not only do I use tried and true methods for teaching the horse balance and core stability, but I've also borrowed many techniques from the human neurological rehab world. My hope for you is that through this course, whether your horse tends to just stumble a little bit or is severely neurological, that you'll find ways to help them improve and be able to track their improvements, all while maintaining a fun and loving relationship with your horse. If you want to join me on this journey or have any questions, contact me at Musgrave Equestrian on Instagram, Facebook, or Gmail. And congratulations on being your horse's hero and empowering them to be awesome.